Good evening, ladies, and welcome to another episode of Wine and Wisdom. It's time for us to sip, savor, and elevate our minds. I am Dr. East. Thank you so much for joining me. I am wine and wisdoming on the go. And so I did not have my fancy wine glass tonight, but I do have a coffee mug, and baby, that'll work because it still holds the wine. Can I sip on that? And I did. Yes, I did. Tonight's topic, ladies, is about dealing with those pesky issues of the negative body image. Like all of us are powerhouse women dealing with our bodies, dealing with society and the stressors. And then when we come home, it's our bodies that becomes that mainstay. That is the baseline of who we are and how we represent the world around us and how we grow and how we show up and tell our stories. But sometimes we can have hangups about our bodies, whether it's what we should wear, how we should style our bodies, whether we feel too little or too big, whether we're too dark or too light. There's all these different things that manifest in us. And so tonight we're going to talk about how to navigate those negative body images with a little bit more self-compassion, because those of us out here working and doing what we need to do, we need to be as kind to ourselves as possible. Am I right? Now, if something that I say resonates with you tonight, ladies, you know what I want you to do. Go ahead and sign up for the Seen and Be Heard call, which is an opportunity for me to help you show up in every room, whether it's the boardroom or the bedroom, so that you can be seen and be heard, to live your life with positive energy, fulfillment, and be able to communicate your wants and your needs, not only to others, but be kind and compassionate to yourself. Now, I am Dr. Carlia East. I have been in the game for over 20 years, helping women all over the United States deal and conquer their insecurities, find their value, and recognize that they are unapologetically amazing and authentic in who they are. And I created the Wine and Wisdom platform specifically for us to be able to sip, savor, and elevate our minds, because y'all got the wine and you know that I got the wisdom. So let's go ahead and get into tonight's topic. Who are we talking about? We are going to get to know Emma. Okay, so this is Emma's deal. Emma has always been bright and imaginative, super creative. She's an artist in her field. She does murals all around the city. People, come to her art exhibits. She is known for her infectious laughter and her joy and radiant personality. And she is just a go-getter overall. But there has been a dark cloud that has been kind of looming over her whole entire life. From an early age, she'd been bombarded with images of what a woman is supposed to look like, what pretty is, right? What feminine is, what beauty is. And these images were, constantly bombarding her through either social media messages, magazines, commercials, even our own loved ones, our own parents and our aunties and uncles can sometimes portray and push this narrative of beauty as well. And so Emma, excuse me, I sneezed. Bless me, thank you. Was dealing with all of these types of rhetorics and nonsense. Now, throughout her teenage years, she became a little awkward, not dealing with some of the weight of social expectations and norms. Of course, she's already, someone that sees life through a different lens because she's super artistic and eclectic in the way that she shines and shows up at work. And so she felt like she never actually measured up with everybody else, whether it was the latest fashions or the hottest looks, or even if she had people that were in her corner telling her that she was beautiful and amazing, she didn't quite grasp it. She didn't quite get it. She always caught herself looking and comparing and seeing others. And eventually her body images began to intensify. And her negative thought processes about how she felt every single day about her body became the baseline of who she is. Ladies, how many of us are covering up or have covered up or are tired of covering up, right? We've covered up our bodies. We've covered up our personalities. Our love handles, our roles, our meat hooks, our fupas, and all these things because we think that they're not beautiful. Why? Who told you that? Who told you that that extra weight was an issue? Who told you that your freckles on your face were a problem, or that your wild, kinky, curly hair was an issue, or that the feet that you have bow-legged or not knees, those are not attractive? Like, who said that? We've tried mindfulness, right? Emma's tried mindfulness, going inside. She's attempted meditation. We've looked at journaling and also, all these different areas. But one of the things that we have to do is get into the core up here, because this is where it lies. These are where the misconceptions lie. And I know as a female, I have definitely dealt with not having the best self-esteem. I've dealt with going on weight loss and weight gain journeys. I've been victim of having moments and characteristics of depression and anxiety, and that fluctuates my weight. And I've definitely walked into my closet and gone to the things that were larger or baggier. And that made me feel worse. When what I should have been doing was accentuating the beauty and the curves and the magnificent folds and the skin and the elasticity that I was given, right? Instead of cherishing it, I was taught by outside factors, influences, society, peer pressure, TV, whatever, that wasn't beautiful. And then coming into the corporate sector, where the blueprint wasn't designed exactly for me, that was just another layer of bullshit that I now had to deal with and had to get past. So what's the lesson that we need to take from today, ladies? What's the nugget? Y'all ready? Take a sip now, because y'all need to write this down. Y'all ready for the nugget? Now, the nugget is very simple. Self-compassion. It's real simple. The concept is rooted in self-care and self-acceptance. Think about it. You have to have self-care and self-acceptance in order to have self-compassion. How many of you are always there for other women, other females, your crew? You got their backs. Your homegirl who thicker than a Snicker, she roll up and you be like, girl, you so fine today. Them chunks that you letting out today is fierce and fire. And meanwhile, you go inside and stare at your stretch marks, or stare at discoloration at your skin, or frown, at a wrinkle, or how thin you are, or how thick you are. You don't love yourself enough. You've got to give yourself the same body compassion that you give another person, the same grace and understanding to be human that you give another person. You have to give yourself that same love and care. Self-compassion is not about self-pity or self-indulgence or any of that, but it's rather about fostering a healthier mindset for who you are. Because think about it. This body that you're talking mad shit about is the one that gets you from A to Z. It's the one that helps you walk in every single day and open up the doors to your shop and run your business as an entrepreneur. It's the same body that gets you up every morning to get your kids ready and start their day, because you, as a high-end businesswoman, is out here also balancing family, husbands, wives, connections, boyfriends, girlfriends, singlehood, divorce, like all these things we're carrying. And then you think we ought to carry the burden of being disrespectful to ourselves? Hell no. We're not going to continue to do that. Ladies, let me tell you something. Self-compassion is the one key to self-care, right? And it's the opportunity for you to give yourself some compliments, to recognize that your body is the baseline of all existence. And if it isn't popping and beautiful, then neither are you. So show that self-compassion to yourself. Start accentuating, your curves. So what? If you're chunky, honey, tie that shirt on the side anyway. Tie it in the front anyway. Put a French tuck in those jeans anyway. Why? Because you can. Because you saucy and you can. And that's what life is about, bringing a little bit more flavor to the bland realities of the world. And that's what women do. So ladies, if you were vibing with me like I was vibing with me, definitely connect with the Seen and Be Called console. This is a free console for you and I to get together, vibe, start your blueprint process. If we don't work well together, or there's something that's a disconnect, don't worry, no harm, no foul. But if we do, I'll let you know further steps on how to work with me, connect with me, and invest in yourself. We will identify negative thought patterns and root causes of why you feel the way you feel about your body, about the people around you, and why you hide yourself. We will develop healthy boundaries and abilities for you to communicate with others, as well as challenge your limiting beliefs, because we've got to challenge our own mindsets in order to be fabulous and amazing, because sometimes we will talk ourselves out of our own blessings. Now, won't we? Now, ladies, listen, it is always a pleasure to vibe and ride with y'all. This wisdom is something that comes from my heart, and it definitely is something that also comes from experience. So remember, don't forget to like, share, or follow me. Please tell your girlfriends about this podcast so that they can come and get some enlightenment too. And also, seriously, check out that Seen and Be Heard call. It doesn't hurt anything, right? Continue to embrace your individuality, ladies. Stay awesome and amazing and your authentic selves. And I'll check you guys next week when we go live. Take care. Bye.